Would you like to talk about the strap match?
It's another winner. Let's go to that. Well, I'll say one thing about the strap match. Just like the previous match, the star of the match was a woman.
Yes. And boy, she made sure she didn't miss the pepper spray because she missed the fireball, right? She waterboarded him with the pepper spray. If that had been water, he would have drowned. All right, we'll get there, folks. So it's Karrion Kross and Drew McIntyre. They want Karrion Kross and Scarlett to be a stars to be on top, main event talent. And they're pushing them big. And I'm trying to get, because they look great. They got the entrance and the whole 9 yards. But you can't tell in any of these matches on this show whether anybody can really work or not, because there wasn't any. There was no long sustained exhibition of can you work or not. It was just the endless gimmicks. But obviously neither one of these guys have had any, or if any, very many strap matches. They don't do them a lot anymore. And obviously the rules of a strap match in the WWE are still, well, the pinfall wins it. You're just strapped together. So they do that. But Kross attacked McIntyre before the strap was attached. And they have a 15-second fight in the ring, and they go to the floor, and they go over the barricade, and they go out into the arena, and he's, they're fighting, but the bell has not rung to start the match. Here's another thing. They've just had girls in a legally sanctioned match beating shit out of each other with baseball bats. They just had 6 guys whacking each other with stools and bars and whatever the fuck. And this is a strap match with apparently no rules, except whoever gets pinned is the winner, the loser. But it's important they mention the bell is not rung to start the match while they're fighting in the fucking bleachers. I've seen 100 strap matches at least. I'm sure I've never seen any of them ever go over the barricade and out fighting in the arena. Number 1, because the heel would have been stabbed. Number 2, because that's putting a hat on a hat. So they have a long fight on the floor, and finally they roll in the ring, and McIntyre then attaches the strap to Karrion Kross, and then the bell rings to start the match after they've been fighting out in the fucking arena. And they start having a strap match where McIntyre is whipping Karrion Kross, and they go back out to the floor. And Kross takes over on the floor, and he whips the shit out of McIntyre, and they go back in the ring finally. And they go on, and finally McIntyre makes a big comeback, and they did an extended 1-2 with, forearms and punches and blows and trading whips. And that was, the people are into it because they showed emotion and passion, and they were working hard. Again, I'm not even complaining about the talent. It's just the preposterous bullshit that they're put into with these matches, and the phoniness of them, and the fact that it doesn't make sense, and etc. Anyway, so he goes for the Claymore kick, and Scarlett is there to block him off and pulls out the spray and sprays him in the eyes. Now, here is one problem. And they could have called me. I've done this a million times, actually, both in angles and in real life. We remember the pepper spray story from long ago. The announcers, as soon as she sprays Drew McIntyre, oh my God, is that pepper spray? Well, that's the first thing you thought of, right? And then I guess somebody told them in the goddamn headset, you fucking blown it. You should have said, what is that? And so they had the announcers say that they went over and got the spray afterwards, and it is law enforcement grade pepper spray. Here's the deal. Every girl in wrestling, going back to Ma Bass, has pulled something out of her purse and used it. And Tammy and Smoky Mountain Wrestling, this was her thing. And Sin and OVW, this was her thing. What do women carry in their purse?
Tampons.
Well, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Well, they obviously makeup products, obviously fucking, keys, etc. like that. But also, if they want to protect themselves, mace. That's been going on for 50 years. You have a lot of women carry a little thing of mace or pepper spray in their purse. So it's believable when a woman is ringside with a purse, she would either come out, powder can be makeup, or a little thing of fucking mace or pepper spray. And what we used to use with Tammy and Stacy was they'd get the little feminine hygiene spray, travel size, and we'd put tape around it so you couldn't see what it was. And that way, the guys, not only did they not get fucking blinded, but also they'd smell nice. But the thing is, the way that the announcers are supposed to sell it is if that's pepper spray and you're at ringside, it will waft over to you enough to know what it is, definitely, even if it doesn't get in your eyes. That's why we used to, with the ether, we actually used an ether-based compound spray so that when you sprayed it, the fans would smell that it was ether. Well, you can't do that with real pepper spray, but you don't have to have the announcers fucking jump the gun on it because that stooges the whole thing off. How did they know exactly what it was that quick? And also, not only if you sprayed that much pepper spray in a fucking guy's face, it potentially could blind him legitimately, but also it would have gassed the first 3 rows. Everybody would have been running out of there if that was legitimate pepper spray because of that amount in the air. And most people sitting there would know that. You've been pepper sprayed, hadn't you, Brian?
I've never been pepper sprayed, no.
It ain't fucking fun. And here's another thing. Then they go back and they show not only is McIntyre's face not red, not blistered, because that much pepper spray, his skin would be bubbling at that point and definitely be inflamed, but the referee's pouring water at his face, which is like throwing gasoline on a fire. With peppers, it's milk. You need milk. But anyway, she sprays pepper spray in McIntyre's face in front of the referee. And he's blind, and Kross wins 1, 2, 3, a pinfall and a strap match. It's bad also, and this will be a recurring theme that we'll talk about later on. You don't do shit like that in front of the referee, even in a no DQ match, because then the heat goes on the referee, because visually the people are seeing the representative of the promotion do absolutely dick all of shit about something that's fucking their hero over. And that's who they get mad at. No DQ match or not, a raw fuck has to be done behind the referee's back, or elsewise it does nothing for anybody except make the people disgusted with the promotion. And we'll revisit that later on. Thoughts I missed on this contest, Brian?
Not too much, and I don't think this is the pay-per-view nor the match for me to justify going long with the review. So I'll just say, like I said at the beginning, I think Scarlett was kind of the star of the match because the match itself wasn't put together in the greatest way. I'm starting to agree with you that Karrion Kross should maybe shave his head again or lose his hair in a match, maybe more appropriately.
He looks too fuzzy and friendly like that, doesn't he?
It was kind of like maybe there was too much gel and it was standing up. But by the end of it, it was kind of like neatly standing up. Those are my only thoughts on this. They certainly, when it comes to the spooky wrestling, their entrance is one of the best.
Great entrance. It certainly is. And my hair was standing up at the end too, but because of fright.